Alright, since y'all my niggas, you know, Joy my nigga, Deontay my nigga, Tykeem my nigga, Shakira my doggy dog, I'm gonna teach y'all. Shout outs to Gigi, my nigga. She don't get no bigger. Shout outs to Caprice, my nigga. She don't get no bigger. Okay. Shock T, Charlene, Jessica, Jennifer, all my wives. Alright. Let's break down just how the streets make money off of weight. Now, when you get a key of cocaine, you're going to be the distributor. You're going to break your key down into ounces. Okay? Right? So you're going to break your key down into an 8-ball. To a bunch of 8-balls, which is $100 worth of cocaine. You pay $5,000 for a brick for that key, but you're gonna break it down into hundreds, 100 plays. Okay, so you make 100 every time, and you could break it down into $200 bags of powder or crack, but you're gonna break it down and make 100 a pop. And make back 10. You paid 5, you got to double your money. So when you break it down into 100, you got to make sure that the person who's buying it is going to make 200 off it. How the hell are you going to do that? Well, that's where you find out how nice you are at measuring and weighing. Okay, so it's a mathematics. You have to be smart. You have to be smart to hustle. Can't be a dummy, and you have to be a good mathematician. And you have to be very. And if you're not a good mathematician, you'll learn by just watching and seeing. Like I learned, like I don't need a scale no more. I know what a dime is. I make up, when I'm selling weed, I make a dime. I know what a dime is. It's 3 grams. But a dime is whatever you say it is. You can make your dimes 5 grams. Your grams, the size of your grams may be smaller than the size of someone else's grams. You could make your gram as big as you want and say, that's my gram. I'm giving you 3 grams. Okay? No one, if you never sold weed, you don't know this about the game. A person will give you a big ass bag of weed for $10 and you be like, that's a 20. And they be like, no, that's a dime. And you be like, what kind of grams you got? That's a gram. They'll take the gram, the little piece of weed out and put it on a scale, and it comes out as 3.5, whatever. And you're like, that's more than a gram, and they're like, well, that's my grams. So with weed, it varies. With weed, you get a pound and you break a pound down into ounces, which is $100 worth of weed, and it's not an 8-ball with weed. With weed, it's an ounce of marijuana, and you break it down until you break down your pound into ounces, and you probably gonna make. That means you got to make 2,000 back. So you got to make 20 ounces, okay? Because 10 ounces is going to get you 1,000. 20 ounces, 10 ounces, you're going to make 1,000. If you make 20 ounces, which is $100 worth of weed, you're going to make double your money. So it's the same with the cocaine. When you get the brick for $5,000 or for $2,500, and you break it down into $100 plays, you paid $2,500 or $5,000, but you have to make how many, you made 20, you paid 5,000. So you got to make, if you paid 25, you got to make 5,000. You got to make 5,000 back. You got to make 25 and 25. You got to make 25 plus 25, which is 5,000. So you got to break that brick down of crack into about 20. I guess like 30 or 40 ounces, something like that. My mind is not working right now, but it's more than 20 ounces. Okay, it's 30 or 40, and you'll make it back, and you can do it because you get enough in a brick and a key to double your money, and so does the workers. Now you're the distributor, the main supplier, because you got the weight. You got a key. Whether you got a key or 10 keys, you're the weight man. You're the supplier. You're the distributor. The buyers are the little people in the street who buy the QPs, the quarter pounds off you, which is a half of a pound. They might buy a half a pound off you, but you never want to sell half a pound when you're selling weed because you'll lose money. Go small. Sell 50s and up, and you'll make more money. So, you're the weight man. You have all the weight. You're going to little people, and you're selling them ounces. So you sell 10 people an ounce, but a couple of them are gonna buy 2 ounces, 3 ounces at one time. So you're gonna make 200 with this person, 300 with this person, 100 with this person, 200 with this person. You done pulled in $700 already in one day. All right? You done pulled in $700. All right? And they're going to make double their money, so they're going to keep coming back. All right? So that's how it works. So the weight man is the distributor, and the workers are they're distributors too, but they work for a supplier. Okay? A main supplier. They're not the plug. That's the plug. You the little man. You the plug. And you got the other people come. You the small plug, and he the big plug. You bringing up off him with about, you gonna probably buy 5 to 10 ounces of cocaine off of him. And then you're gonna sell to the little connects, the smokers, and the other little drug peddlers that sell dimes and 20s and 50s. You're gonna sell them ounces. That's it. You don't got no QPs. You just sell ounces because you read up on some small shit. You understand? So it's the same with cocaine. So I wanted you to understand how things go. You got the weight man who got a lot of cocaine. And then you got the little people, the middleman who buys a lot of cocaine, but he don't have more cocaine. He buys a little cocaine off the one who has a lot of cocaine. And then he makes ounces and QPs and dimes and 20s and 50s off the little weed of cocaine he has, and distributes them to smaller niggas, and they do the same thing. So that's the game in a nutshell, and with heroin it's the same thing, So you have to connect with a key. The connect breaks the key down into ounces, into 100 plays. You have the weed man with a pound of weed. He breaks the pound of weed down into 100 plays, and he can make some QPs, which is $350. And the person who buys the QPs is going to make 600 back, okay? Because they're going to smoke some of it, you know. So you can sell 50s, 20s, dimes, a lot of dimes. You bag up a lot of dimes. You bag up a lot of 20s. That's where you're going to make your money, off the small bags, because people don't have money. Are not going to spend money on that. They just want a dime. They just want to have a little fun. They're going to sell a dime, 20, 50s, trays. People don't really buy 30s, but they do buy them. So you have to, when you just give them a 20 and then a dime. People come through with all kind of funny money. Okay, but you got to make it work. You got to be good to your customers. But you know, in this era, I'm trying to get all the bad drugs off the street, and bring new drugs, new weed that's vitamins and minerals, and new crack that's vitamins and minerals, and new heroin that's vitamins and minerals, with no death, no sickness. Until then, the game is dead.